All right. On to
So,
our designer showcase, dude.
yes. So, for anyone who doesn't know, today we have the first annual designer showcase. We are going to be bringing on a handful of designers who, over the past 10 or so days, have been designing the back design and tuck box for a thematic playing card deck. And basically, this theme was decided by Steve and I, and we wanted something that was going to be a little more fluid, something that,
Universal.
yeah, something that you could put your own spin on. So we're gonna have each of the designers come on. Stu,
Thank
thank
you,
you so
Stu.
much. New name for okay. Damn.
Shimerson. Shimerson.
I hope that
Jesus, that's tough
fits.
for me to say.
I hope
Shimerson
that
Smith.
Jackson
Shimerson.
Shimerson
Shimmerson
Smith.
Shimerson.
Shimerson Smith.
There we go. Jackson's
job.
name has
Good
now
job,
been updated.
Stu.
I was worried that it was gonna be a little too long for the screen there, but Jackson, I love the new name. But that being said, so we decided to pick a theme that could be a little bit personal to each and every designer and really do something that wasn't just generic, we're going to have you do XYZ. Like we wanted everyone to be able to put their own personal touch on it. So, with that in mind, what we're going to be doing over the next, I think, 2 hours?
2
Steve,
hours.
1 hour?
We got
2 hours?
2 hours for these guys.
All right, so over the next 2 hours, we're going to be pulling designers on. We're going to be having them tell their motivation behind the design, showing off the work they did, and talking about Cam. Thank you so much for the support, buddy. You're too damn kind to us, man. We love you, buddy. So we're going to be we're going to be hearing the designers kind of tell their tale behind these decks, talk about their creative process, talk about their motivation and inspiration based on the theme, and see how it plays out. John, Tyler Sayer was the winner of the OPC raffle. Again, I'll reiterate for anyone who missed out on the raffles earlier in the day or at any point in time, we will be putting out a full list of people's YouTube names for the winners of the raffles, just in case anyone does miss it. So don't worry, you will have a chance to get in on your raffles at the end of the day. Jamie, I don't know how you keep doing it, man, but you keep losing all of your damn shimmer points. So
He's
feel like I'm spending half the show just re-upping people. I feel like I'm the crack dealer here. But that being said, you got 2,000 points now, Jamie. You're welcome.
Stop
Steve,
gambling, Jamie.
Who are we pulling on first for the designer showcase?
Doesn't even matter. Pick the first three.
All right. So I'm pulling in. I don't want to give them random.
Jackson, let's see your face for a little bit for this.
My face? Okay.
Yeah.
We like your face.
Hide progression for a little bit.
Hey,
there we go.
Much better.
All right. So first up, we're pulling in Andre, Marcella, and Luna.
Heck yeah.
Hello.
Welcome.
This is a lot of people on screen here, more than we usually have on screen. Yeah. So what we'll do, and I'm gonna make it even more awkward for each and every one of you as we go through the list. I'm gonna blow your picture up on screen, and everyone else will be small, so you really have the spotlight. Let's see here, Luna. You're the first on the bottom corner there, so you're getting to go first here. Let me.
Oh boy.
Not to put you on the spot, but
morning.
you get to set the tone. Good morning, Luna. Luna, why don't you? So for anyone who doesn't know Luna just put out an amazing tarot and playing card deck called the Octopus Deck. Beautiful foil deck, really nicely designed. It was on Kickstarter not too long ago, and she's now going through the joyful process of printing and fulfillment, which I'm sure is exactly what you wanted to do over the holidays.
We literally have to add that Luna is literally one of the most responsive people on any Kickstarter campaign.
Yes.
Seriously. For those of you who didn't see our episode with her, we totally just went over her Kickstarter campaign like we normally do with anybody's, and she reached out to us. I guess we're a little harsh. So, right after that, but she literally was taking feedback from all these people that were leaving stuff, about which printer she should use and just different things like that. And she literally was, doing all this work as the campaign was happening, doing these changes and making it work for people to be happy, and came out with a super dope 2 decks, a tarot deck and a playing card deck, like Tyler was saying. So
Yeah,
bravo
was really,
to you.
yeah, really nicely done, and the campaign did phenomenal. So we knew we
Yes.
had to have Luna on. So I guess before we jump into each and every person here, I should probably say what the theme was for all of this. So a lot of people guessed on Instagram, and we'll be doing those giveaways after this weekend. So you still have a chance to leave a comment on those. At this point, you'll know what the theme is. But the theme for everyone's deck was superheroes, and one of the things
Oh,
that we
yeah.
really picked is I think everyone has something that first jumps to mind when you think superhero, whether, with these days, the Marvel Cinematic Universe out there, Spider-Man just came out, all these ideas of what a superhero is immediately jumps to mind. But a superhero doesn't just need to be someone like Spider-Man or Superman. It could be anyone under the sun, someone who's impactful for you, someone, who has made a difference in your life, whatever it may be. And so we had a lot of great designers who we wanted to give them that freedom to put their own spin on the idea of superhero. So Luna, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you did for this? And if you want, you can share your screen so you can show off your artwork as well. Or I know you do a lot of your hand-drawn stuff. So if you're holding it up, that's perfectly fine too.
I'm actually, okay, I'm going to kind of introduce my concept first a little bit because I actually was very behind on all this designing stuff because I lost a friend about a week ago, and I had actually started a whole other design. And then after that happened, he was a musician and a producer and like someone that was like super loved in the whole festival community. And I started seeing a bunch of people just posting all of these posts being like, your music saved my life and all of this, And so I kind of shifted concepts more towards like kind of how music seems to be this driver behind so many people. Like it's the thing that seems to be there for so many people when people aren't there for them,
Yeah.
And so I kind of worked with the concept of, just musicians as superheroes.
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life, I'm working digitally. I bought a new laptop and got Coral Painter because I was so behind. I was like, we're going to try this. We're going to learn a new program for this. So
well, hopefully it was a fun experience and not
that's a
too
lot of
stressful.
work.
Yeah.
it was definitely fun, but it has definitely been pretty chaotic. We'll go with that. I have it in Photoshop on this computer because I did not I have it's on my laptop, the original file. But okay, I'll screen share now.
All right.
How do I do that?
There should be a button on the bottom that says share, and then pick share screen. And then once you pick it, it'll show up and I can pull it in.
Share screen. All right. So, woo. Is it sharing? I don't know because
I am not seeing it yet.
Oh.
It may pop up with like a approval message on your end. So
it's the share button is grayed out, and I don't know why.
So that may be a permissions issue on Chrome. So for all of our wonderful designers on today, I will walk through the process real quick on the share thing. Let me see if I can get to the StreamYard share. The instructions on how to make sure that it's set there. But I think there's actually permissions in Chrome if you're using Chrome.
Okay, we'll try. Where would that be? Because so actually, I have my computer's been like really finicky with Chrome and with just any of my platforms lately. So we'll just try again from the beginning, see if that does anything. Okay, I think I got it.
All right, yep, now I'm seeing it.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, so so pretty much that's been what I've been working on. I'm kind of thinking it would be really dope with some like gold kind of detailing.
Nice.
But yeah, just like kind of started off with just some music forms and shapes, and then I kind of work abstractly around that. But yeah. I'm not too sure what else to say. I did start throwing a box together. It doesn't have a name yet, so I just put that there for now. But that's pretty much as far as I got, considering I literally just have not been able to find much time to get onto it until last night, both time-wise and emotionally.
Yeah, no, hey,
Understandable.
it's definitely understandable.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Suicide Viking.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Music
There you go.
does save
Musicians
lives,
as
that's for
superheroes.
damn sure.
100%, man. Absolutely love that.
Yeah.
See, and this is what made us so excited about this theme as well, because there isn't just one answer as to what a superhero is. I think everyone has had something that's impacted their life in a super meaningful way for everyone. So really love to see this one.
So cool.
Thank
I like
you.
the color too. The color is really fun.
Yeah, I felt like muted color, monochromatic thing just felt right for some reason. Yeah. I kind of played around with other colors as well, and that's just kind of the one that stuck. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
And
like the
so,
headphones.
what are some of the next steps? I know you mentioned like a little bit of gold on the back design. What are some of the other next steps on your thought process for this? For like, say, court cards, would you do something custom, things along those lines?
Yeah, totally. So I'm actually thinking for the court cards, I would want to pick influential musicians that are affecting a lot of people and kind of have them inspire each card. Something of the sort.
Nice.
It's kind of the idea running behind it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, what are
Very
some
cool.
musicians that you give us a few, just 2 or 3 musicians that
Oh,
really
boy.
inspire you?
I haven't gotten that far because I had a whole other, I literally had a whole other deck planned out, guys. It was so last minute of just I actually sat down trying to work on the other deck, and this was what was happening. So I was like, okay, because that's the
Hey,
direct.
that's how it works, right? And that's why when Tyler's, when we were talking, Tyler explained it to you guys. It could change literally last minute. Things happen, something comes up and inspires something totally different.
Yeah, my initial concept was actually I was going to go with the whole Greek gods and Greek mythology because I thought that was kind of had a superhero vibe to it, and they're kind of like the ancient superheroes and all that, and
that's cool.
So I've got half a back of card designs done for that.
No, dude, seriously, thank you for sharing this and creating it. It looks awesome. And especially the inspiration behind it. It's unfortunate, obviously, and we're sorry, but you created something beautiful that honors your friend in a big way,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, Layla, it's pretty much been what's been driving and creating art right now, because that's how I process a lot of things that happen in my life is through art.
Right.
And it just so happened that right now it's a deck of cards that happens to be the art I needed to make. So
That's good, though.
Yeah, for
Always
sure.
good to have that outlet.
Yeah,
Thank
definitely.
you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you,
All
guys.
right. So next up, we are going to be talking with Marcella, because I see you on the screen next there. Let me go back to this one and there. And Marcella, you are on.
Look at that
So why don't
background.
Hi guys.
I know.
So cool.
I love all the books.
Yeah. Have to say I'm sorry for my bad English.
Oh, please.
in
Your
advance,
English is perfect.
but
No worries.
I'll try. And I was very lucky with the choice, the superhero choice, because I have a lot of material behind me,
Nice.
all about comics and superheroes.
Oh,
That's
cool.
awesome. So why don't you tell us a little bit, about, so for anyone who doesn't know, Marcella just recently designed a deck for Penguin Magic, which is actually how we hooked up with Marcella for this design competition. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got into designing playing cards? Was this your first deck of cards that you designed?
The spacecraft.
Yeah, spacecraft. Yeah.
Deck was my first
Very
card,
cool.
my first deck that I created for Kevin and Penguin. And since I'm in love for this deck, it's amazing how much people are passionate about it, and it's really amazing. And I want to create a lot more.
Awesome.
Nice.
Well, we want you to create a lot more.
Yeah. So for the superhero deck, I'm gonna share my screen with you. Let me see how it is. here.
Such a cool library. Dang.
Yeah.
right.
My husband work with comics translation, and I work with comics translation lettering. So
Oh,
we
very
have
nice.
a lot of material.
Very nice.
So you are seeing my screen?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, just a second because I'm not seeing. Okay, now I'm seeing everything. So I'm gonna tell about my concept. The first thing that comes to our mind, at least my mind, when I'm thinking about superhero, is the cape. Oh, sorry. Uh, Also, the superpower that I think most people would want to have is the power to fly. So for me, that is the essential superhero. So I went for a very simple look, even though we cannot escape from Marvel or DC superhero characters as reference. I didn't want to any hero to resemble Superman, Spider-Man, or so on. I choose geometric shapes to be very essential, but still recognizable as a superhero.
Nice.
And went for primary colors because I think they are the most easily found in superhero costumes, in comic book coloring as a whole. The off-register effect and the Band-Aid dots effect are also a way of referencing comic book coloring. I want to look like a superhero, even if you are not looking at a logo saying superhero. And as I said, I didn't want to be any specific superhero, but my superhero.
Nice.
And there are two things that I wanted to say to end my speech. The first one is that I intend to work with both Superman and Superwomen
Very cool.
so that we can explore this gender balance.
Mm.
And the last thing is that I want to say that I felt very lucky there because I have a lot of material to research and work with.
Such cool
And
colors.
this is my.
No, they do look great.
Last week I sent for you a holographic option.
Yes.
But working more, I decided to go with comic books colors.
I like this
Nice.
better.
It's
I like this
best.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
interesting because the hollow with the S didn't really stand out as a cape as much, whereas this really
Yeah.
does stand out because of that
Yeah, I agree.
contrast.
Yeah, I think it looks great.
Mhm.
And that light blue is just it pops, especially with the
Yeah.
yellow and red.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
this is the 3 cards and the box.
So cool.
And here
Yeah,
the large
that's
box.
great. So cool. I love
That's
seeing
my
different.
cards.
I love seeing the different ideas that each person has.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
interesting because I think again, like it's such a broad theme. You know, it could have gone the other direction. We could have had 40 people who literally just took like a page from a comic book and that was that. Or you have this idea of everyone kind of puts their own spin. I think it's so really interesting to see the direction it went. And I
Yeah.
love the clean geometric shapes to it as well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Marcella,
Definitely.
thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for
Yes,
the
yes.
opportunity. I love to creating these decks.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
No, we're glad to hear it because I think a lot of designers out there don't have the opportunity to create a deck of cards, and I think at the end of the day, it's such an interesting outlet because you have so many
Yeah.
different pieces of art contained in one almost like collection. I mean, we've seen some historical decks that people have done where each piece. I mean, actually, Cabinetarium is a perfect one from Art of Play. Every single card is a different piece of art, and that whole idea behind it that you have 52 or 56, depending on how many cards you print, pieces of art in your hand that people can enjoy and appreciate and each have their own little nuance to them is always so much fun.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Now, your plan for the court cards, do you think they're going to be all custom or is it going to be
For that, I think all custom.
nice?
Is
Awesome.
that the way I work for the spacecraft, and I love it. So
Yeah.
I think I will always full custom.
Nice. Good to hear.
Nice.
Jackson
nice.
Jackson loves hearing that, right, Jackson?
Yes, I approve of all custom.
Mr. Create a Deck in a Day.
Well, we'll see.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Marcella.
Thank you, Marcella. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
And next up is gonna be Andre here. Let me there we go. Let's see. There's so many moving parts here. Let's see. There we go.
You
And
got it on
Andre,
lockdown, dude. You're crushing it, Tyler.
Andre, you are now up. So for anyone who doesn't know Andre,
Oh.
Andre is the design mastermind behind Plan 52 playing cards. Their Pixel Kingdom deck came out earlier this year, which was an absolutely amazing deck based around 8-bit video game inspiration, but also had kind of a fun fantasy vibe to it. They recently had their Tales of the Uncursed Kingdom, which I believe is going to be relaunched sometime in the near future, correct? And then Yep.
Exactly.
Just
We are
awesome.
waiting for EPCC, and then we're going to get it printed.
Very nice.
Dude,
very nice.
I need to talk about that blazer. That thing is dope.
I
It
am
is
the
so
full Christmas
dope.
spirit. I love Christmas. My favorite holiday. So
So good.
Very nice. Dude, that is too
Yes.
funny.
yeah, I'm
Oh.
buying a new ugly Christmas sweater or suit or whatever every Christmas.
Nice.
So
Oh my
Sweet.
gosh. No, that looks awesome. So Andre, why don't you kind of walk us through the inspiration for you on your superhero deck, and we can chat a little bit about the background on it, and you can share your screen and we'll take a look at what you got here.
yeah, actually, I was completely blown away because of the theme at first, because I had so many ideas and it was completely different from what I expected. And let me see if I can share my screen. Do you know? Can I share my second screen?
Yeah, it should give you an option to share
Oh,
either
okay.
screen. Yep.
Perfect.
All right. So there you go.
So actually, at first, I was thinking about doing something very different, like more something in the direction of everyday heroes, like policemen, firefighters, etc. But actually, I was thinking about so many ideas in this direction that I thought everybody would do that. So I went full reverse psychology and went for the complete classic superhero theme and just invented my own superhero world, which was a completely crazy idea because of the limited time. I've worked every day until the night the last 2 weeks. And yeah.
Looks great.
Dude, no, it looks really cool. And so tell us a little bit about why you decided to go with the colors, the styling itself. It kind of has almost a little bit of like a Batman and Robin vibe to it, which is really interesting, but with like completely different colors. What made you decide on like that bluish purple? It's almost like an indigo or something.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
I'll tell all the artists on here too, I'm not great with naming colors. So if I say something looks indigo and it's really like some other shade of blue, you can yell at me. It's fine. So I'm
Look at that
terrible with
DNA
color names, but
DNA details, cool.
yeah, I know. I love it.
Thank you.
It's very interesting because that background has just so much character to it and so much like I like the kind of the like the hatching in the background and everything about it just looks really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, at first I was thinking about doing a Greek mythology too.
Oh, nice.
But then I remembered we already did a concept for that, and it's already uploaded and everything. So I thought I didn't want to do that for the competition because we already thought about that. So I decided to just take the idea, which there was like heroes versus creatures, and put it into the superhero theme and make it heroes versus villains.
Nice.
So the classic choice would have been here red versus blue. But I decided for the black because I wanted my villains to be more darker, more like DC vibes. So I really went for the whole Marvel DC theme.
Yeah.
And so these are the superhero Atom Star and the villain, which I don't have a name for, to be honest.
Nice.
Yeah, and then all the symbols here represent different heroes in this universe that I thought about.
Very cool.
It's so cool. So cool.
It really is. Like it's got a really interesting kind of like familiar vibe to it too, which I think is really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to go even more crazy, because apparently I'm a masochist, I went to create 2 tags also, like one for
Nice.
the heroes similarly, and one for the villains, because I really want this to be kind of a like in World of Warcraft, like Alliance versus the Horde.
Nice.
So if I would ever create a campaign for this, people could kind of vote for heroes or villains and have this kind of fight, and I would want to create this bar that moves like following the votes and everything, so people can decide which chuck they like better, which team
That's
they're
really
on,
cool.
heroes or villains.
Nice.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And now, did you envision too any sort of embossing or foil on the tuck as well?
I will come to that shortly. I just want to quickly show
nice.
the ace, and then we go into some renders. So
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
definitely foil and embossing. So this is the ace that I created for this, also following the theme here again, the city, the hero and the villain both as statue, like kind of a Art Nouveau style poster, I was envisioning it. And then also the hero was the villain fighting, flying in the foreground. Yeah,
That's cool.
fully embracing the superhero vibe. So let's go for the renders. So yeah, that's the back design you've already seen. Then now coming to the tuck with
nice. Gold
some
foil.
embossing and foil. Exactly.
Very cool.
Nice. A fun ace of spades.
Thank you. Yeah, by the way, I was so tired working on this the last nights that the villains just has 3 Ls. But I was doing the renderings today, and when I saw it exactly doing this shot, it was already too late, so I just stuck with it.
That's perfect.
That is too funny. And the great part about this is all in progress. So obviously that's something that wouldn't make it to a final render there. But like, nah, I love that. And I think it goes to show too. And you know, it's funny whenever we look at a Kickstarter campaign, it's always like, it's always important to have someone else proof your stuff, because when you look at something for hours on end, it's so easy to blend in and just be overlooked. And that's how a lot of times you end up having like random words or misspellings in like the text of a Kickstarter campaign, or even on some of the images. And, you know, I know when Steve and I did our campaigns, we literally had like multiple people checking all of the copy, making sure everything looks right, making sure everything works the way you expect it to, because it's so important to have that.
And I still messed up as many times as
it's crazy.
you checked it. I sent it to be checked to multiple people. At least 5 to 6 people checked everything. I still had something mess up on one of my tuck boxes.
It's too
Oh
funny.
yeah,
Happened to me too. It happened
tons of
all the
times
time.
with tuck boxes.
Yeah, 100, dude, a million. It's funny. Someone messaged me and they're like, "Is your holographic version supposed to be a past or a present edition?" I was like, "Present." They're like, "It says past on it." I'm like, "I guess it's a past edition now."
Oh my God. I
So
love
dumb.
it.
Yeah.
That's always how it goes. You never know until it's sometimes too late, but sometimes you catch it and you're all right. So
Yeah, exactly. Good catch. I kind of like the 3 L's. It makes it more dramatic. They're villains. You know what I'm saying?
villains. Yeah.
I'm
Add a little
villain.
emphasis to it. Dude, I love it. And I love that contrasting colorway too on the back design. Though, very cool.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, I was really enjoyed making that.
Good. That's exciting. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Fully custom quartz or
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%,
awesome.
definitely.
Awesome, dude. Thank you so
Very nice.
much. Oh,
Dude, Andre,
sweet.
thanks for sharing, man. This looks
Nice.
beautiful. Yeah.
Love the renders, man.
Thank you.
Skill that I definitely don't have. Skill of rendering.
And I can't draw or render.
It's so hard.
So, yeah.
I had to color correct them all in Photoshop afterwards because the colors were all messed up.
Yeah, I
Dude.
mean, some people are just so good at renders and stuff like that, and yeah, that's not my expertise. That's for damn sure. I can photo correct an image, but once you start like rendering stuff, 3D stuff, yeah, no thanks.
Dude, it gets a little crazy.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. Well, thank you so much to Luna, Marcella, and Andre here. The one thing I will say too for everyone out in the chat, towards the end of seeing everyone's design, we're going to be dropping a poll out in the chat that's going to give you an opportunity to vote on your favorite design. So make sure to keep an eye out for which ones you appreciate the most, and you're going to have that opportunity to vote there. You'll obviously only get 1 vote per person, so make sure you put it where you want to see. The other thing we'll say with this as well is this design showcase is actually sponsored by Mr. Jackson Robin over there, aka King's Wild Project, as well as the United States Playing Card Company via Cardamundi and Legends Playing Cards. What's up, Jackson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
Shima-san. Shima-san.
Yeah.
that being said, Jackson, USPCC, and Legends have been kind enough to donate some amazing prizes
Yes.
for these exceptional designers here. And so we actually have 3 prizes that are going to be going to the first, second, and third place for this competition. The prizes themselves have a varying demand, I'll say, per person. So we're actually going to leave it up to the person who gets first place to pick one of the 3. Second will get to choose one of the remaining 2, and then third will get what remains there. The prizes, Jackson, do you know what you're giving away?
Yes.
Let's hear it. So
Why
I'll tell
don't
the
you
other
tell
2
us?
while you get
Why
that.
don't you tell
Yeah, I'll
us?
get the other 2 going while you finalize your thoughts over there. So
I think we put
Legends
him on the
playing-
spot.
I didn't mean it in the sense of like, tell me right now. I'm gonna run through the other 2, and then you can say what yours is as well.
Tell me
So-
right then after that.
Yes, there you go. So Lawrence over at Legends Playing Cards was kind enough to donate $1,000 print credit for a playing card run at Legends Playing Cards. So should one of the 3 winners choose that, you now have $1,000 credit at Legends Playing Cards to print your next deck. USPCC was also kind enough to donate a $1,500 print credit on a minimum run of 1,500 decks. So again, if someone's really looking forward to using USPCC for the next run, and they want to do a 1,500 deck run, that is a great prize as well. And then Jackson, why don't you let us know what you're offering up here?
It's a either or. You can have one or the other.
Oh, nice.
I'm either going to do, you can either choose a $1,500 credit of fulfillment. So King's Wild will fulfill the orders of a project. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Or a $1,500 credit to one of my new printers that I'm using.
Oh, wow.
Very nice. All right.
Nice.
So
Oh.
you may get some behind the scenes printing access there as well, which is awesome to see.
Yes.
So
Thanks for putting me on the spot. That was good though.
I mean,
You just like, I gotta put Jackson
That's
on
your
the
own
spot.
fault.
So he'll
That's your own
actually-
fault.
So he'll actually make a decision.
yes, well, that's always how we get you to make your decisions. This is how we're going to, next year, if you have more giveaways, we're going to make you mail them live just so people know they went out.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
He's
Yeah,
gonna
that's
have
how we'll
he's
do
gonna have Steven in the background
Yeah.
doing all the labels and everything.
Labels. But that being said, so we have 3 amazing prizes here for 3 amazing designers. And I want to caveat that as well to say that every designer who has gotten in here has honestly blown us away. We've seen the behind the scenes with the tuck boxes and the back designs before this. And honestly, Steve and I have sat here and been like, dude, I don't know who's going to win because every single
Dude,
design has been
Everyone is
top
dope.
notch. So we are
Everyone.
really excited to see what the people think on this one and see what the vibe is throughout. And I hope to see some of these decks actually come to life. But of course, there's no requirement as to what you use those print credits or credits you get through fulfillment through Jackson for. So whoever wins first, you get to choose your one of those 3. Second gets to pick out of the remaining. Third gets to pick what's left. And with that said, though, again, pick what means the most for you to be the most helpful, because I think one of the biggest things for this for us was not only to get to show off your amazing art, but we wanted to give something back to newer designers, to the community that will hopefully help you on your next project, even if it is outside the world of playing cards. Though I'd love to see some amazing decks from all of you because the artwork is great. And I'm saying that with 3 of you on the screen, but we have even more people to bring in now. So Luna, Andre, and Marcella, thank you so much for showing off your work. I'm going to drop you back to the background now, and we're going to pull in 3 more great designers.
Heck yeah, you guys can watch it on the rest of the fun.
Yeah, you'll be able to hear us throughout in the background. So let's see. First off, pulling in Pablo Frey, Andy
Pablo.
Hamilton, and Alexis Grant. So for anyone who doesn't know,
Andy,
Alexis is the
Alexis.
designer behind Organic Playing Cards' most recent deck. She's done a phenomenal job there, and we're excited to see. For anyone who doesn't follow Alexis on Instagram, I cannot highly recommend you check her out enough because her design is spectacular. It's very much a architectural food kind of combination there, which is really interesting. I always enjoy the pictures you post, especially because Alexis is local to me. So very often I see restaurants that I know and I'm like, oh, damn, well, now I got to go eat food here now. So Alexis is definitely contributing to my COVID weight and I appreciate it. For anyone who doesn't know Andy is the man behind the Howlin' Jacks decks and partners with Bo Kremer and is actually, I believe, at Bo's right now. Hopefully Bo has pants on. So there you
Oh,
go.
it's not
What's
your
up,
turn to be
Bo?
on camera yet, buddy. Nice try.
Oh,
Stealing
I'm
the
on.
show.
Bo is always the show stealer.
Yeah.
Thank you again for the food, Bo. I'm feeling much more energized. I appreciate it. But
Pablo, you're on mute, just so you know, buddy.
so Andy
Yeah, I
has
know.
done.
Okay.
All right, good deal. Andy has done some amazing artwork for the Ristretto, the Howlin' Jack, Trash and Burn, and the Toasted deck. There we go. I literally, and what is this? Oh
What
my
is
gosh.
that?
Is
Oh,
there
a
a
blue
teased
edition.
blue Trash and Burn? That's exciting
Oh.
because I have to say that was probably Steve's biggest complaint is Steve does not like red decks. So blue is always up
I'm
his
down with the
alley.
blue. I'm down with the blue.
But so for anyone who doesn't know Andy, go check out Andy's work and give Fallon Jacks a follow and give Andy a follow as well. Everyone was tagged in stories throughout the whole process of showing this off. But what I will be doing, I want to say tomorrow, but I know tomorrow I'm just going to be sleeping. So Monday, I'm going to share everyone's tux and back designs again on Instagram. So make sure everyone out there follows each and every one of these amazing designers to really check out their work for this as well as for future projects as well, because I think there's a lot of fun decks we're going to be seeing in the coming years from everyone who's on the show today, and I'm really excited about that. And then last but not least, for this group of three, we have Pablo Frey. So for anyone who doesn't know Pablo drops some of the most creative Instagram posts on a regular basis, doing a lot of really cool 3D render work and a lot of fun work along those lines. Pablo is also the designer behind the Momentum playing cards in collaboration with Kevin Ho, which we've had Kevin on. Yeah, Aerodynamics. There you go. Well, Momentum cards, he has the brand, but yes, the Aerodynamics decks. So
and Misprint, right?
And yeah, and his own deck, which was the Misprint deck.
Exactly.
Yes, which was an awesome one. And I have to say, for anyone who hasn't seen that, it played on the idea of offset back designs on playing cards, which we all know and love if we've ever printed with USPCC. And it took it to a very interesting artistic place that almost kind of had a very street art vibe to it, you know?
Yep.
Kind of a fun street art / graffiti art style to it, which I thought was really cool. So since we're going in order of who shows up on my screen again, Alexis, you're in the bottom corner, so you get the honor of going first. I'm going to blow you up on the screen here, and let's dive into what you're presenting today.
I was not expecting superhero, and I was actually expecting like an object like pen or pencil or paper clip. I was expecting
poor Alexis.
I don't follow superhero stuff. I'm not knowledgeable with that. So it was kind of hard. It was a difficult start, and I was throwing around ideas with Jack, my boyfriend, and tossing out ideas. And the first thing out of his mouth is, "Why don't you do a sandwich deck?"
I
love it.
Good.
And I'm like, yes, why didn't I think of that? And I thought about it more, and I thought, like, maybe should I use this design challenge to not do food and show people that I can do other things than food? But I couldn't pass up hero, play on hero, and a sandwich deck. So let me share my screen.
Right.
Let's see, share screen.
I'll definitely have to share a nice funny story with you about the deck when you show it.
Oh, yes. Okay, there's a...
Yeah, the infinite window happens from time to time. Don't worry. There you go.
So I showed this to Leslie, my fiance.
Yeah.
And she's like, and I told her it was about superheroes, and she's like, I don't get it. And I was like, it's a hero, a sandwich.
Yeah, and I didn't know.
Does she call them hoagies?
She goes,
Yeah.
So I mean, she's from California. She doesn't call them heroes. So she's like, oh, that's amazing. That's brilliant. After that, she was just like, that's so good.
So I'm from Pennsylvania, and where I'm from, we call them hoagies.
Yeah.
So I'm more familiar with that term.
I call them subs.
Subs.
Yeah, I call them subs as well.
Yeah.
So this is my hero, my superhero back design.
Nice.
It's supercharged.
What did it get bit by? A pickle or what? Or lettuce?
Radioactive pickle.
Radioactive pickle.
I guess I could show my tuck box. I have it hooked up to like a huge switch. So I was almost thinking of like Frankenstein.
That's
kind of
very
being powered by a big power switch, turning this hero into like a monster.
So cool.
Yeah,
That is
and then
really
I did
cool.
like this is the inside, just the pattern, the
Cool.
electric pattern repeated. But
Dude,
yeah,
we even made it on there.
yeah,
Powered
I
by
put
Deckin
definitely
Around.
am. And then this is danger, extreme appetite only. Yeah.
You can tell she's been designing for OPC.
Yeah.
And
So
then
cool.
where is okay, ace of spade here. So this is like an exploded view
Nice.
with the
Very
spade in
cool.
the background. Yeah. So I don't know much about superheroes, but I do know about a good sandwich.
I mean, the way you design food just blows my mind. And I say this every single time we talk about your stuff. Is it reminds me of the Great British Bake Off.
Right.
And when they, in between the cooks cooking or the bakers baking, they show these, Tyler calls them
Like
industrial
architectural drawings.
architectural. That's what it is. Yeah, architectural drawings. It's just so spot on. It's funny.
I before I went into graphic design, I studied product design, industrial design. So
cool.
that's where kind of what I'm influenced by my I guess drawing education from studying that.
Yeah, I like the pips too. How they're all rough.
Yeah, I added that like grainy texture in the background of all the back, the tuck box.
How's that fan for you, Tyler? Nice broken border.
Looks gorgeous. I like it.
Nice.
Yeah, so like if you fan it, you can make a super long sub. Right?
And I like the fact too, though, that like you differentiated the border there with a little bit of an off-white coloring to it as well, kind of a bread tone we can call
Yeah.
it there.
Yeah.
Very
So
nice.
cool.
Yeah. So that's
Cool.
it.
So custom quartz or what? What are you thinking?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's the idea.
Nice.
I haven't thought
Very
much
nice.
about it, but no, I think they would need to be custom.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Definitely
Thank
a
you.
fun one. No, thank you so much.
Thank you
Next up
for
on this,
having me.
dude, always our pleasure. Honestly, we love seeing all the designers who are newer to the community coming up with these ideas, especially around, something that they may not have put a lot of thought into initially. Like you said, superheroes was at a left field for you. So to come back from a topic you don't really know about and make it something you are a little more comfortable with, aka food in that design style, like I think that's fun, and that brings that creative aspect to the theme we were looking for, much more so than something like, if we had done pencil or something, you're kind of locked in, and we wanted everyone to be able to give their own little vibe to it. So a superhero, it's a great little play on words there.
Yeah.
Another cool thing about this is like bringing the design into the forefront, showing that they actually have a face, introducing people to, those that are behind the deck,
Yeah.
I've never seen a picture of Andy before. Obviously I've seen Pablo because he's been on the show. I thought Andy was just Bo's like imaginary friend,
Alter ego.
and obviously Alexis I've seen before. We've been on many Google Hangouts from she's designing Cam and I's deck, but so it's really cool just meeting everybody and seeing them actually, in person, I guess you can say.
Dude, no
Cool.
doubt.
Yeah.
All right. So next up is Andy, who we now know exists. So Andy, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background on this? Well, first off, I know we've talked to Bo about it. How did you two end up hooking up for the whole Howlin' Jacks line?
Well, Bo was given my name by a fellow graffiti artist, and because he knew I had a computer.
Very cool.
And Bo wanted to really do the Ristretto deck as a homage to all his great friends and stuff. And we just got talking, and then you get involved in Kickstarter, and we were like, you know what? Going out for a couple of drinks, we came up in one night with like about 20 deck designs. And it was like, well, thanks to something like Kickstarter, it's not so much of a business punt in the dark. If nobody backs it, nobody loses money. So we were like, let's give it a go. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've been an illustrator for 30 years, mostly like kids' books and T-shirts and beer labels and stuff. But
Nice.
once we get into the playing cards, what a rabbit hole. And
Yeah.
listening to your guests tonight, and you know, seeing Jackson draw and stuff, it's just one of those worlds where you can literally, as an illustrator, you can tell a story in the deck of cards with so many little elements, and that's why we wanted to like design the pips from the ground up, design the backs from the ground up, even try and find a new production house that could help us with like really custom tuck boxes and stuff for, you know, I mean, I know for Bo's been in this for like centuries, but for me it's it's a learning curve. But when you learn the next step, you're able to push your designs to the next step, and a competition like this, and even, you know, seeing the other designs that the guys have come up with, another piece of the jigsaw puzzle falls in. So I mean, you know, this is our sort of Hardy Jack's Christmas party tonight.
Nice.
And we've already, you know, scheduled another 4 or 5 decks that we're hopefully going to release next year.
That's really cool.
So yeah, the ideas are just like, blah. So to get the superhero brief and to be invited on for a start is fantastic. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, Andy.
Superhero brief. It was a day of just walking around, writing things. My beautiful wife Inga has this mind map idea that she does, where our hall in our house is just covered in paper with ideas written on it, and you just next idea, the next idea, the next idea. You know, in a really lighthearted way. You know, when like they go through those in Seven, the killer's like handbook, and all the writing's really tiny, and there's all these you know, that's kind of my mind map. So superheroes was just like, how can I bring something of me and Howling Jacks in Ireland to you guys? So
nice.
The whole superhero thing, nobody's really sure how Ireland, the people who are Irish came about, because nothing was ever really written down. It was always told in stories and songs. So there's 3 cycles of early Irish history. There's the mythological cycle, there's the Finn cycle, and there's the Ulster cycle. Now, the mythological cycle is literally the most mind-blowing kind of, you know, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones stuff you've ever read. And because it wasn't written down, everybody has a different version of it. So I thought, let's do the mythological cycle in the cards. So I'm going to attempt to screen share here and talk you through it, if that's okay.
Go for it. Let's see.
Of course.
Okay. Share screen. Select entire screen. Nope. Which one?
Open system preferences. Hit allow.
What?
Oh, it's not your turn.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Let Bo help. Let Bo help. Don't leave Andy in a lurch here. Let Bo help.
Andy's an illustrator. He's not a computer person.
No. I'm definitely. But I did send you guys some.
Yeah, I can always pull them up on mine if need be.
I should have sorted this out. Hold on a minute.
Hey, no worries.
I'll just maybe dance a bit, or
maybe go in the bathtub. Go in the bathtub.
That's what it is. Bo's computer only works in the tub.
So I think tonight we're going to find where it was trying to come through. Maybe you want to bring it up, Tyler.
Yeah, if you want to bring it up, Tyler,
I'm
I'll
zipping it right now. Let me just let's play files and explore.
I don't understand. Would it be in the Firefox?
No, because I think you deny. So now it's trying to find security purposes.
This is making great.
Yeah,
this great content. Woo!
Hey,
That's all good.
you know what? This is
it
Deckin Around.
happens.
This is how it goes. All right, I'm gonna share my screen for you here, Andy, and let's go. Yep, let me just switch the view as well. There we go.
Cool.
Nice.
Okay. Well, so this is the idea for the backs of all the cards, and the earliest people to sort of settle in Ireland were called the Tua de Denin, which I won't spell for you. But basically, they
Actually, I want you to spell it. No, I'm just kidding.
they were a magical race of people, so called, and they brought with them to Ireland 4 magical objects. There's the Stone of Destiny, Lu's spear, which makes you invincible in battle, Nuda's irresistible sword. When he unsheathes it, nobody can resist it, and off go their heads, and Dagda's magic cauldron. So I wanted to bring that kind of druid early kind of art to the project. And I know the first back of the card I sent you guys was colored, and it kind of just didn't work. And I wanted to go back to the standing stones that we have littered all around Ireland. So I decided
I like the colorway of it. It looks good.
like a carving that you would get in a standing stone, and the spiral background is one of the earliest symbols they find carved into Irish stonework, and actually nobody knows what it means. Everybody has theories, but nobody actually knows what it means. So I thought it'd be cool to have the back of the card done in stone, which is also reflected in the tuck box as well.
So cool. You have the
Let me
picture.
switch over to the tuck box here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
There you go.
there you go.
That's it.
And it's called, everybody's like, what does that say? It's kind of my graffiti writing is a rough thing, but it's eventually the Tua de Denin settled underneath the earth in a place called the Otherworld, and the human beings, the Messinines, who became the Irish, took the top of the world, i.e. they lived above ground, which is why the Tua de Denin are sort of referred to as the little people, if you will. And there's loads of passage tombs in Ireland, and this was thought to be the entrance into this superhero otherworld. So the tuck box is again carved stone representations of Dagda the Druid on the front, and the goddess Dana, which was supposed to be the goddess that they all worshipped, but again, nobody knows much about her. So it's for a place that recently has like Game of Thrones. Lots of Game of Thrones was filmed over here, and in fact, about 20 minutes up the road is Winterfell, and loads of basically, if you grew up around here and you had a ginger beard, you were in Game of Thrones as an extra, you know. But
that's
I
awesome.
mean, how many Irish guys have ginger beards? Come on.
Please, hold on, including Brunei 4. So yeah, I just wanted to play with the, and of course, when you're thinking of it, it's like, man, could we, introduce foiling into this, and how can we emboss the stonework? And it's just like, oh, we got to nail this down. So I also supplied you with the Ace of Spades, but if you can show the king first.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
Sorry.
There you go. No
Right.
worries.
So this is Nuda, who was the king, and he got his hand cut off in battle by the evil Balor, who had one eye, and it was all lasers and complete end game sort of Avengers stuff.
That's awesome.
And when he got his arm cut off, because he wasn't perfect, he couldn't be the king of the Tua de Denan. So his son, who was an expert blacksmith, made him a metal hand so that he could remain king. So I wanted the design of this card as well. Instead of doing a sort of diagonal mirrored split, I wanted to try it sort of straight down the middle kind of thing. Just play about with the kind of mirroring, and also the pips are sort of custom. So the hearts and the spades are all designed specifically to fit in with the sort of mythology of everything.
Very
So
nice.
the ace card is actually his hand that when it was cut off, it turned to stone, and I've turned the ace pip into like a leaf or a feather kind of shape, just to fit in with everything. So hopefully, when the rest of the courts are designed, because no offense, but this deck is going to be made because we're just so stoked about it. So
Good.
it's almost going to be a story deck. You could lay the cards out and tell the story kind of thing,
Cool. Yeah, I love it. It's fun. I like how
It was-
vibrant
it was-
the
It was a lot of fun to
characters
do,
are.
and again, sort of learning as I go. It's like, well, can you foil the front of the tucks? The courts, is that going to ruin the feel of them? And then you just start sort of falling down another rabbit hole. And yeah, this is the mock-up that some prisoner did for me. Yeah, he was on remand. This is Bo's mock-up of the tuck box, and
I like it.
how it might
Nice.
look.
I think
know.
Bo should just stop putting all his mock-ups in bathtubs. That way we know it's a Bo render.
You want to see what he's got planned for tomorrow?
No,
Oh, jeez.
no.
I mean, of course, always, but I'm a little scared as well.
Yeah. But
Oh, God.
one thing I wanted to ask you guys is it, because I didn't want to make it too like sort of twee, like it's a touristy thing. I wanted to make it an interesting like superhero story. When you look at the images, what do you guys think?
What do you mean? Do we think it's like a superhero?
Yeah, has it got?
I definitely think it has that superhero vibe to it. The interesting
Yeah, for
thing,
sure.
and what it very much reminisces with me on the styling of the art itself, is something you'd see with like some of the more fantasy
Reminds me
oriented
of
like
Avatar.
cartoons and everything. Yeah, like
Like the Avatar cartoon. That's a
Yeah, I was gonna say
superhero.
like very much like that illustrated animated style that you'd see in like cartoons, but in a fun way. And I think the mythology and the superhero vibe definitely comes across, especially with the blue glow around the fist on the ace of spades, kind of indicating like almost like a power or something to it. It's very unique. I like it.
Cool. Thank you.
Now, beautifully
thank
done,
you.
Andy. All right, now I got to remember. There we go. I didn't forget. I don't remember how to share my screen or stop for a second. But that being said, Andy, beautifully done. I don't know where Steve's going, but that's fine. Next up is Pablo. So Pablo, I'm going to throw you on the big screen here, and we are going to do it up. There we go.
Can you hear me properly?
Yep. Sound
Okay.
perfect, Pablo.
Okay, so I will explain the concept behind the design first, then I will show it. So let me ask you a question. Like when I say superheroes, what's the first thing you think about? Like think about a superhero, just one superhero. What do
To
you
me,
think?
it's definitely like Superman or Batman is the first that comes to
Exactly.
mind.
There are only two choices when people say think about a superhero. It's either Superman or Batman. So I feel that that's because lately, like superheroes are almost like godlike in pop culture. They're because of the recent movies,
Yeah.
all the series, and all that stuff. Uh, so I wanted to, well, we wanted because I work with someone in my team. I now have a team of people working with me. Uh, on something that we could show this idea of how superheroes are almost like gods nowadays. So let me just show the back design. Your screen. There we go. Can you see it?
Yep. There you go.
Okay, so we wanted to do something that's like really, really generic, like the most generic superhero you can think about. And this is like when you see it, you think that's Superman, but it's actually not Superman. It can be any superhero you want, and it's inside a head because like superheroes are really, really into our heads nowadays because of all the pop culture media, all the movies, etc., etc. And we wanted to make this more clearly by adding like comic book uh, panels on the back. So that's why you have like textures on the back. Um, the Ace of Spades, we wanted to place the name of the deck. The deck is called Generic Gods because of what I explained. That basically they are like godlike creatures nowadays. But if you think about it, there are barely any new heroes. Most of them are reuse powers, reuse characteristics, and all that. So that's why we call it generic gods. The Ace of Spades has the same style, comic book background. In the front is the name generic gods in comic book font. Here's a mock-up of the back design. And if you really see the back design, personally it reminds me of the Brain Dead deck by Fontaine Cards. It has that same vibe. Here's in a fan. It like all the background adds a lot of texture, a lot of layers. It complements the colors, so it's something I really love. Here's the box.
Oh,
The
cool.
box is like a lot of comic book panels on the back. It has the name up front, generic gods, and I wanted to place something that says this is the most generic thing you can find. That's why I placed 54 pieces of a standard paper. So it's not like super special paper or something like that, because sometimes people on their decks they place like crushed stock or like air cushion or something like that. No, this is standard paper. That
Made out of comic book paper.
I mean, I wish.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it will definitely be cool.
Yeah.
Here's the box. Generic gods, 50 pieces of standard paper, and we wanted to add some like little Easter egg. So in the flag we place "In God We Trust,"
Nice.
meaning that, of course, because the deck is called Generic Gods, we wanted to accentuate that. Also, the pose that the superhero is doing here, it's based on the Bible in a way, because supposedly when you give you an offering to God, you do it with one hand and two specific fingers, meaning that way you are giving money or anything like food or whatever you want to give in name of God. That's something we wanted to add. Um, yeah, pretty much that's it. Also, I know that the back panels might seem like there might be an issue with copyright and all that, but there is actually a page on the internet that allows you to know which comic books do not have copyright anymore.
Wow.
Interesting.
So
Nice.
everything here, it can be printed without any issue because it's like copyright free. So it's really
Very
cool.
cool.
It's really
Very
cool.
cool.
It's something really interesting that actually I found out yesterday because this was a challenge for me, and because like you all know my style, I take years making a deck. So making something in less than a month was really challenging but really exciting.
Less than 10
because
days.
yeah, less than 10
14
days
days or
exactly.
13 days. Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really cool experience. I hope you enjoyed the deck. I don't know if anyone has any questions or something.
Oh,
No, it's
dude,
definitely really
awesome.
cool to
Thank
see the
you so
styling
much.
to it, Pablo. We appreciate
Yeah.
it. And so what we're going to do now, we actually have two other designers who are going to be coming on in a quick minute here. We're going to be shuffling some people in and out of the stream. So do not mind that for any of the designers who we drop out. Don't worry about it. You can tune in on YouTube so you can see who gets picked and everything. There's a limit on the amount of people we can have in the app at one time. So that's why we're going to drop some people out. And while we're waiting for our last two designers to come in and talk about it, I'm actually going to be showing the work for a third designer who wasn't able to make it on today due to a scheduling conflict. And then we're also going to be doing the giveaway for this hour that just passed. So while I'm here, let me kick off the giveaway, which
let's do the giveaway then. Good idea.
Here we go. We're going to be giving away a mixed 5 decks. It is from Halam Casey. Again, Halam, thank you so much, man. We really appreciate all of your generosity here. The 5 decks you're going to win today are an Orbit V8, a V8P, a V8 ASOP edition, a V7, and a Peelers V2.
It's actually 2 Peelers V2.
And 2 Peelers. Okay, so you're getting 6 decks out of it. 2 Peelers V2s, which is crazy because that's actually pretty slicers. All right. Well, Steve's writing the things down wrong. There you go.
No,
2 slicers V2.
I wrote slicers.
Whatever. I'm sure. Maybe I
just
read wrong.
Peelers by mistake.
Oh yeah, I read wrong. You're fine. So that being said, 2 slicers V2. Ignore the text on the thing. I don't feel like restarting it. So it's going to be a V8 orbit, a V8P orbit, a V8 ASOP orbit, and
a V7
orbit, and 2
slicers
V2. Man, we're only 6 hours in. I can't be this brain confused already. So as everyone knows,
it's a lot of numbers and letters. You're okay.
Yes. Well, and the brands, 2 different brands, it threw me off. So I was gonna be like, oh, half brick of orbit, but it wasn't that. So everyone, make sure to hit !raffle in the chat. That'll get you your entry into this hour's raffle. We'll run that probably for another like 15, 20-ish minutes and pick a winner on that one. So what we're going to do here is I'm actually going to pull up. I got to close like a ton of stuff I have open here. And I'm going to pull up.
So let's, because I don't know if Luna's there or Andre's there. So let's drop out Pablo and Andy because they heard what we said, right? And
yes.
Actually, I guess we could drop these 3 out and bring the other.
All right, so I will drop everyone
about 20
out
minutes.
here.
So
all right, that's fine. We can burn 20 minutes. We know how to do that. So, and Marcella dropped out too there, and Pablo's out, Andy's out. And I'm gonna pull this up real quick. This art is from Junie Artie. Junie couldn't make it today. He had a conflict during this time. So Junie wanted to do something around the idea of superheroes related to EMTs and doctors. And obviously with the world being in the state it is now, I think that's a pretty big theme that's running around with the idea of COVID and everything right now. So I can't remember if he sent over some text. I'm going to pull up the thing here. Let's see. The main idea of my deck is a real life superhero. The court cards could be social workers, doctors, teachers, etc. So a lot of the styling behind this, I love the idea that this is a bicycle style deck as well, because it really allows you to see kind of some fun bicycle style coloring to it. The simple bicycle layout on the front there with the ace of spades being shown off with someone with it looks like maybe a clipboard or something in their hand, kind of highlighting the idea of real life superheroes there. And then this really interesting pattern on the back design. I promise you, I'm not doing anywhere near as much justice as Junie would do to this work here, but absolutely,
you're doing a good job, buddy.
Thank you. Really cool back design to it, though. I really like the styling of this as well. And again, I think it was a really good choice to go with that kind of bicycle-esque design element on the front there, or bicycle design element on the front to kind of tie it all together, because I could see this being a deck that Bicycle would put out for sure.
Oh, 100%. Super cool. Super cool.
Dude, no doubt. So
awesome.
We have 2 more designers who are going to be coming on in a second here. Steve, did we hear from the other designer as well?
No, not yet.
Give him a call.
Yep.
Let's make that happen. And that way, because our 2 next designers are going to be Max from Gikondo Cards. For anyone who doesn't know Max, he is a Rwandan-based designer who does amazing work. And Mark Fallis, yeah, who is coming to us. Mark did the Broken Crowns? Yeah,
yep.
Broken Crowns playing cards. So really excited to see that one as well. They both have some really amazing artwork they're going to share with us. All right, tell him to jump on in, and we can have Mark kind of walk through, and then we can bring the raffle through for.
Oh, he's saying the studio's full, so we got to kick someone out.
It shouldn't be. No, there he is.
Okay,
oh, there's Max. All right,
cool.
Andy, I'm kicking you out. Oh, nope, never mind. Mark's in. You're all good. All right, so we're pulling in both Mark and Max here. What's up, guys? How you doing today?
Doing well. How are y'all doing?
We're doing awesome. We are doing awesome here. We've had
How
some
can we
amazing
not be doing awesome? We got Max's smile.
Max always has. Max's smile lights up the room for sure. We're always happy to see Max and Mark on and have all these designers on. So, Massimiliano,
you guys.
Dude,
I'm
we're
sorry,
doing
guys.
well.
I'm late. I'm really.
Oh, no
my
worries.
apologies. I'm late.
Perfect timing.
The studio was full anyway. We have a max of 10 people, so we were coordinating, dropping people in and out there. Massimiliano has a great question, though, here. How can we vote for these decks? We lost Max for a second there, so I'm sure he'll come back. But after we run through the last designs, everyone, we are going to be putting a poll out. The poll is going to have your option to vote for the deck that you like the most. Based on which decks get the most votes, that is going to help us determine the winner of the design showcase here. So, Mark, since you're the one still in the chat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow you up real quick here. And you have the option to share your screen and show us what you worked on. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration and the back design with this and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So I am a graphic designer by trade. So I do lots of like logos and branding and spend a lot of time with typography, fonts, lettering. So when y'all gave me the theme superheroes, I wasn't immediately inspired by it. I'm not really into comic books so much or superheroes. So I wasn't immediately inspired, but with any project, I do a ton of research. I mean, even with my Broken Crowns deck, I did about 3 months of research into playing cards before I even started working on it.
Nice.
So in this, I was like, first thing I need to do is just look at the history of comic books and superheroes. And immediately after going online and bringing up images, the things that stood out to me were the sound effects and the hand lettering throughout comic books, which is very specific to that industry and that content. And I was like, oh, well, I'm immediately drawn to this. This is really neat and interesting. This will give me an opportunity to flex my my hand lettering skills. So I did more research, came across a couple articles that highlighted some of the most iconic sound effects as it tied to specific superheroes. So I kind of went through those, determined which ones were most interesting, and decided to implement that into the design. So I'll go ahead and share. We'll get right into the back and the ace in this next picture here. So to share, all right. Here we go. Y'all see that all right?
Yep. Well, let me get it up here. There you go.
There we are.
Nice.
I am curious if any of these sound effects y'all know that they're tied to any particular superhero. Any of that stick out to you?
I feel like the POW is something I've seen in
POW is
Batman before,
Batman,
for
for
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's interesting about that one is that didn't appear until the Batman series. You didn't actually see that in the comic book.
Oh, wow. That's really
It
interesting.
was in the TV show, right?
Yeah, the TV show. Yep.
Yeah.
Thwip is the sound that Spider-Man makes with his webs. Snicked is the sound that comes out for the Wolverine's blades.
Oh, interesting.
And then the ha ha ha, that's specific to Joker. You saw that a lot in like the background of images in comic books. And then Katang is tied to Captain Marvel. And then Herm, that little one that's like inverted, that's tied to a character from The Watchmen who actually didn't say any words. And anytime he made a noise, that's the sound he would make.
That's cool.
And then Pum Spack had to do with a guy from Marvel, Scourge of the Underworld, where they would kill off some of like the lesser known super villains. So he had like a gun that would make the sound pum, and when the bullet would come out, it would say Spack. So yeah, those are the most interesting ones, and I wanted to keep it simple. Anytime I design, I do black and white, whether it be in any logo or anything like that. And as I was designing in black and white, I was like, I actually like this in black and white, so I kept it in this.
It looks really clean, yeah.
And especially if it's tied to some more like vintage comics, and it just reminded me of like the black and white, like comic strips and whatnot. And then when I got into like the Ace of Spades, I was like, all right, I still want to stick with the hand lettering, typography, words, not so much any graphics that are or imagery of the superheroes. So I was looking at the front of a lot of comics and real bold lettering, a lot of like drop caps. So I wanted this to look like the title of a comic book, like the title of an actual superhero. So the Ace of Spades. And then I don't know if you noticed, I actually brought in the same indices and little lettering there below the spade for my previous deck. So if this would be kind of like a continuation of that series, like my brand essentially.
Right.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I love those tips and indices. I think they're great.
So with the so it's kind of blowing up the spade again, and then brought the design onto the tuck box. So thinking like a silver foil, and then I added this real late, the seal at the top. So one thing that stood out in most of the comic books I was looking at is like the top right of every single comic book. You had this little seal that said approved by the Comics Code Authority. I never really knew what that was. It kind of just looks like a stamp essentially. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, this immediately reminds me of the seal stamps shape from playing cards. So it would make sense to like place this here. This, I don't know if y'all know, but this seals was used up until about the 90s, where basically if you wanted to sell your comics to kids, you had to submit your comic for content to be regulated. So basically they go through and make sure it's safe for kids, so there wasn't like excessive like drugs, sex, excessive violence. It couldn't be a horror comic. No ads for alcohol, tobacco, knives, fireworks. It ended up dying out in the 90s as like people got older that were still into comics, but they wanted something that was more relevant to them and could be appropriate for adults as well. So they ended up dying out.
Seeing that adults buy more comics than kids nowadays.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That little seal is on the very beginning of the Spideyverse movie.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I didn't notice that.
That's
and then on the side here, it was real common to see, like, you know, when we see people talking, like the actual writing within the comics and in the bubbles or whatnot, you saw drop caps a lot. So that little M, so it was structured that way. I thought that was really interesting. So I brought that down the side on Made in the USA.
That's cool.
Very cool.
So obviously printed by USPCC.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I did with my last one. So I feel comfortable sending it to them again.
Yeah, cool. Looks cool. Custom court cards. What are you feeling?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, everything would be custom. I don't know, like conceptually, it would stick with like the typography, the fonts, like really focus on the words. But I could potentially bring in some more of like the design like elements throughout comics. So I just have to like take a look at and research a bit more and find some unique like aspects of it to tie through.
For sure, fun, dude. Thank you.
Yeah,
looks awesome for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
No, thank you. And so before we bring Max on to show his stuff off too, what I'm going to say is, if you haven't already joined in on this blast raffle, make sure to type !raffle into the chat. Get it your chance to win a half brick of mixed decks, both OPC and peelers there. This is a really fun one. This is coming from Halam, right? I'm getting that right there?
Yes, this is Halam.
Perfect. So Halam did a great job with this one. We're really excited to see what everyone thinks of the Orbit decks that they get in there, because the V7s sold out, I think, at this point, right? So you really, and the ASAP sold out quick, the P sold out quick. So for the most part, other than the V8, I think these are all sold out decks. And then the Slicers V2, which were one of the latest in the Slicer series, which were actually designed by Alexis, I believe. So yeah, which is always exciting. So make sure to get that ! raffle in the mix there, so you have your entry into the giveaway. We're going to be closing it up probably in the next 9 minutes, somewhere around there. So you have a little bit of time, but don't miss out. And Max, it is now going to be your turn to show off what you're working with here today, buddy. Let's see. Yeah, you're muted.
Hey guys.
Mute, buddy.
Yep. Hey Max, how you doing today?
So I'm good. So I'm using my camera from my phone. So I don't know how I'm gonna do this.
If you need, I can share on my screen as well. I have the back designs you sent over. I can share that as well if need be.
Yeah. Let me see if I could click on the link and just open it here. But then,
just so everybody knows, Max is the brain behind Gikondo brand, and Tyler and I wore the crap out of the sweatshirt this week on all our lives.
Sweatshirt, it's so comfy
for the most part. But so yeah, head over to Gikondo's website and check out all the fun stuff you can pick up over there.
All right, so I've got Max shared in. So if you share your screen on that account, Max, I should be able to pull it in. I'm going to leave that out, but
yeah, let me share the screen.
Look at that little ad placement right there for the shirt.
The what?
Your shirt with the Gikondo on it. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, I'm trying to do like some vintage t-shirts.
Yeah, they're
Very
cool.
nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Looks like I have to. So yeah. So my concept. I wanted to take a different route with this, but my concept was more. I was inspired by Asgard, Thor. So
Very cool.
but the patterns are not exactly as I expected, because everything I got it from the head because it was last minute kind of thing. So I don't know if you're seeing my screen. Can you?
I'm not seeing it shared yet. But I may need to pull that in and then.
I think I did.
Yeah, it may.
Share screen. Oh, I don't have a permission to share. I don't know.
You might need to change your permissions on the browser.
Oh.
Browsify it.
Dude.
Okay.
Let me see what I can do here.
Stuff like that. Mark share permission. Oof. It's a lot of
Yeah, they don't always make it easy to share your screen these days.
So let me do this. Let me do the traditional way, the Gakondo way.
The Gakondo way.
How do you flip this camera? This technology
There we
thing.
go.
You guys, what? Wait.
Uh-oh.
How do you do this? How do you flip the camera?
Tyler can share it. Tyler can share it.
Yeah, I can share it on my side. Is it the stuff you had already sent over? The back designs that you had already sent over, or was there more stuff you wanted to
I
share?
have my Adobe Illustrator open, so I wanted to kind of flip.
Oh, I just heard a beat.
What?
Oh, nothing. I'm talking to myself.
Camera. Okay, can change to back camera. Is this working?
Yeah, that's showing it.
All right.
Nice.
Sorry, guys. So yeah, so I'm still building this. So I did different backs. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me put.
There we go. We can see it now.
I did some full screen, some background. So I'm still playing with patterns around here with different tools they use in Asgard. I wanted something to look with the Asgard kind of helmet.
I like that.
Nice.
Nice
The concept. Because they have a lot of these patterns, and I wanted to this in the printing, since it's being printed by US Playing Card. I wanted it to be like the glowing, the bridge in Asgard. So that feel of the bridge, I wanted it to be these lines. So I'm trying to develop. I'm still drafting. It's not quick as expected, but the back kind of I know the direction I wanted to do. I wanted to do kind of make this a bridge between Earth and Asgard.
Nice.
So
very cool.
Yeah, and then here I'll have some text. I'll have some text here, right? And wanted it to be more majestic, kind of royal, and using this purple color to kind of give it a golden feel to it. So
very vibrant.
This is where I am. This is where I am, and the stars, right? And I wanted to have a hammer at some point somewhere, and Loki's helmet. So I'm still trying to draft this concept. I did not expect to take, because I'm so most of the times locked into the culture heritage kind of cards and everything. But this is a different challenge, and I think it's a good thing that you guys kind of brought this challenge, because I needed this to kind of get me out of the comfort zone. So
it's cool. It's cool though, because like when I look at that, it still fits your brand.
Yeah, it really does fit nicely with the whole Gakondo brand. But again, being able to walk through the design elements that you put there with the references to Asgard and everything, it really does look very cool. Very, very fun there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to see, probably in 1 week I'll have a full image, because it's been a busy time here. Closing the year, we're getting in lockdown, but I'm trying to see if I can close everything before the year ends. But it
Nice.
has a feel of Asgard, but then the stars were looking more ninja, American ninja. So I had this whole. So I'm trying to think the American style, right?
Right.
Because when you think Marvel, you're not thinking just global. You're thinking heroes, superheroes in an American way, in American style. So
Right.
and I had to put myself in that. So it's still a struggle to do that, but I hope I'm not too behind. But this week I might send some files. I know Jackson. He's
Yes.
the quickest designer I know. This guy is on another level.
He's
He's a
you know
beast.
what? I'm not even gonna
He's
call
a
him a designer
beast.
anymore. He doesn't count. He
What
like
do you
simply
mean?
doesn't count.
He's a legend. He's a legend.
Yeah,
now.
he's
just-
in his
he's just that
own
fast
right.
with it.
He's just something else. He's not even a
He
designer
is something else.
because
The Asgard.
we're not even calling him a
They have-
designer
They
anymore.
have groups for that kind of thing.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
what? What do you mean?
It's a bad joke.
Very, very bad joke.
Oh my god, I love it. I absolutely love
Yeah.
it.
So I took
listen,
a direction of Asgard, and that's what
I like it.
I'm gonna take. Because it has a variety of things, and it has a culture. So anything that goes with culture, heritage, I
Yeah.
feel like they have there's something that is related to kind of the direction I took with Gakondo. So there's spears, there's the robes, the big robes, there's swords and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like a costume, just a costume. It's a whole world that, well, we are operating around. So that's the route I took, and I hope to bring it to life by the end of this week.
Nice.
Nice,
Well,
nice.
thank you very
No.
much, man.
Very cool. We
Yeah.
appreciate you sharing it, man. And so
Pleasure.
that brings us to the end of the showcase of the artwork we've seen so far. What we're going to do is two things out there. I'm actually going to close the entries to the raffle now, so we're not confused and thrown off with all that stuff going on. So the raffle is going to close here in
Yeah,
a
that way
quick
because we're gonna do
second.
another one right before the next hour.
Yep. And so the other thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to open the poll, and there should be an option that pops up that allows you to see that there are polls open. Basically, for the next 30 minutes, we're going to leave this poll, and maybe in the next like 15 minutes, we're going to leave this poll open, and you're all going to have a chance to vote for which design you like the most. So as you can see, and I'm going to put an example here, you would do !vote, and then the name you see in that list there. You don't need any of the triangle brackets or lines in between it, just vote, space, and the name. So in my case, this isn't going to work. I'm going to vote for myself here, but you can see !vote Tyler. So make the votes that you like for the people whose design you enjoyed the most. If you're not sure about which some of the references or some of the designs where you want me to show them off again, let me know. I can pull up my screen share and show off the artwork from all of the artists. Just let me know and feel free to get that voting started. So anyone who runs into any issues with the voting, please let me know and we can get that squared away. Matt, I see your confused face there, and I'm curious as to what that may be. If you're running into any issues with your voting, please let us know.
Oh god.
Catherine wants to see all the decks again. Can we show
All
the
right,
designs again?
so yeah, let me pull down what I have here. I think I'm gonna have to see where I have it too.
Do you
Let's
want
see
me
here.
to
So I'm gonna
to
pull up the images that
turn
we
the
used for the
camera again?
stories, and so yeah, what I'll do is I'll pull up the ones that
Okay,
we shared for
okay.
the stories. They may be a little bit further back, but it'll kind of keep people fresh in mind of what we have there. That way I can see what I might have to.
You want me to send them to you real quick?
Uh,
Let's see. Let me see.
I have them on my phone. It's just a matter of getting my downloading them real quick off my phone, so I can do that. No worries.
Okay. I can
And I'm
email
gonna-
them to us real quick.
No worries, dude. I can literally download them from my phone.
Okay.
I have a remote connection there, so I'm just going in and downloading them as we speak. But the one thing I will say with this too is these are going to be previous designs we're seeing here to some extent. So again, like Andy mentioned with his, he did change the coloring of it and added a little bit of a different element to it. I'm grabbing some for all of them. Let's see here. So we have that one, that one, that. Interesting. Anyway,
Now, Beyond the Pips wants to know: can you only vote for one?
you can only vote for one.
And if you vote on one person and then you change your mind, can you change it? Okay.
I think your vote is locked in once you vote. So make sure
to pick the one you want.
Jamie, you do not receive a vote confirmation once you drop it in. That is that. Max Mark, I'm going to drop you two to the background too, and we're going to.
Did Shimmer-san go to the bathroom?
I'm guessing so. Let's see here. All right, let me get these designs up and share my screen. I do not have all of them, but I'm going to get the rest up in a second as we're sharing through here. So while we're doing this, just.
Yeah, and this is, again, sponsored by King's Wild Project, Legends, and USPCC. So huge thank you to those guys.
We've done a phenomenal job, honestly, in not only supporting the community, but also driving a lot of the growth and the community involvement we see. So huge thank you to Legends Playing Cards for all of their help with all of the great work that they've done this year. They've really stepped up their printing game. And I have to say some of the greatest handling decks came out this year from Legends. Then, of course, thank you to Jackson yawning over there, who's just designing this beautiful, beautiful deck as we're sitting here. And let me hide this real quick again. I'm going to try and get this working the way I want it to. But let's see. I have so many. Let's see.
Dang, Catherine's crushing it with the shimmer. Almost 6,000.
Damn, that is crazy. That's
go.
We're flooding the market with shimmer right now because I'm just basically like throwing out shimmer to everyone who gets below to 0 there. So there we go. Slideshow. All right. So while
the winning design. So we have 3 different prizes, and the first place person will get to choose between the 3 prizes. The second place will get to choose after, and then the third place gets the remaining prize. We have $1,000 print credit towards Legends playing cards. We have a $1,500 print credit towards USPCC on a minimum 1,500 deck run, and then Jackson is going to give
$1,500 credit.
One of 2 options. He's going to give $5 or $4.99. No, I'm just kidding. He's going to give $1,500. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. $1,500 towards fulfillment, or $1,500 toward print credit to print a deck through one of your exclusive printers.
Yes.
Correct. Excellent. So there you go. Those are the options.
I'm just like floating through these, by the way, as I go, because I don't have a ton of them readily handy for whatever reason. Everyone should be able to see a reconnect.
Excellent. Excellent. So exciting. I'm so excited. These designers just literally had 13 days to come up with all this stuff. So it's not like they had an idea in their mind and they knew where they were going. We gave them an idea and they ran with it. So it's pretty cool to see all these different kind of concepts, based on their take of what superhero means to them. So, super big applause to all the designers, and such fun decks. Thank you so much, Johnny. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Johnny. All right,
Johnny, just so you know, Johnny, what you can do is, since you did a super chat, you could name Jackson. So give us a name that you want Jackson to have on the screen, and we will change his name for you.
So I'm going to announce who the name is on these decks because I do not have all of the technical capacity right now. So this was the back design from Luna Charlotte.
Yes.
This was from Max.
Awesome.
I'll cycle through these a million times, so if I'm going fast, don't you worry. We have Andre's design here.
Sweet.
This was Andy's V1, which we then saw change with the stone work around it and everything. And actually, I think it looked amazing in that V2 iteration there with the stone kind of cairn and everything. It looked really good.
Yep, no coloring, just so you know.
Yep. This is Marcella's back design here.
So fun.
Yeah. And again, like I didn't like once she said it, I'm like, okay, I can see the people in the capes. I love it.
Yeah, I saw the kind of the pre-work where she kind of set up the image. It looked really cool.
And then this is the V1 from Mark as well, but Mark showed off his comic book design, which I thought honestly looked phenomenally done there. And I really like the kind of pencil feel to it as well.
Yeah.
Then this is Juniardi's work, which was the idea behind the bicycle branded EMT, school worker, doctors, those kind of like real life superhero
First responders.
deck. Yeah, first responders. Well, teachers too, but yeah, real life superheroes.
They're the ultra first responders.
And then here's the V1 of Pablo's design as well.
Yep.
And then the broken
Superhero.
bordered sandwich, the superhero sandwich from Alexis.
Some might say super gyro.
Super
Super
I don't think
hoagie.
anyone would say
No,
super
not
gyro.
Super
Yeah.
super hoagie. Hoagie. That's what I meant.
Steve gets on here and offends every ethnicity.
Hoagies and grinders.
So again,
Grinders,
this
that's
is
another one,
the
right?
back design from Luna. Joel, the winner for the last one has not been announced yet for the last giveaway. I'm going to do that after we get all of the polling out of the way. So figure in about another 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to take care of that. And we're going to do another 10-minute quick giveaway in the background while Jackson gives us a fun little breakdown of what's been going on with the deck.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
we've got the back design by Luna here. We
Luna.
have the back design by Max, which is the whole Asgard theme, which was really fun. We have Andre's back design here, which showed the duality of heroes versus villains. We have Andy's, which touches on the Irish origin mythology.
Super fun.
We have Marcella's, which brings a fun little clean kind of geometric styling to superheroes. And I love that spacey design across it as well.
I love how it's a stick figure, but not. Obviously, it's not a stick figure.
Yeah,
When you
it's
look
very
at
more
it,
like a rough
it's a
anatomical
superhero
drawing.
stick
Yeah.
figure.
Yeah. And then you have the V1 from Mark Falliser, which was the comic book POW and all of the sounds and everything. I can't even pronounce all the twang, all of the sounds, which I thought was really cool and honestly was an interesting dive into the styling of comic book artwork there as well.
Yeah, I mean,
And again,
that deck changed a lot too.
The real life superheroes from Juniardi. And again, this was the bicycle branded one with the woman on the front holding the clipboard, which again, I thought in these times was a really interesting one.
Yeah.
Then we have the V1 from Pablo here as well, which was the styling. Let me see if I actually have the V2 of that as well. I may, but I don't think I have the V2 of all of them. But let me see here. I do have some of the updated ones from Mark here as well, which I'm going to show real quick. So that's the
Nice.
updated one for Mark Fallis right there. And then again, we have the superhero sub from Alexis. And while you're looking at that, I'm going to see if I can find the updated one from Pablo as well. Too many emails. That's what it comes down to. Let's see. Pablo.
Speaking of emails, do y'all remember Homestar Runner?
What?
Oh, no.
The online videos like homestarrunner.com. Emails. I guess I'm just never
Dude, I do
mind.
not
Sorry.
remember that. That must have been like where were you at the time of this? Texas, maybe?
No, it's
Like, I've never even heard of this Homestar Runner. Like,
all right.
Is that a Texas website?
well, no, because the reason the reason I ask is if you look at like how internet was 15 years ago versus now, there were hundreds
Oh,
of
this was
regional brands
this was
that
way
then ended up
before.
getting, yeah, pretty much
like
got bought
20.
up
It's
by
like 20 years
Comcast.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because I know when I first moved into my house, I had a company called Patriot Media, and they got bought by Comcast like 11 years ago. And all these big brands, Optimum and Comcast, just keep buying more and more. So again, I'm gonna do another quick run through here. We have the superhero back design from Alexis Grant. We have the superhero generic gods from Pablo Frey. We have the first responders or the everyday superheroes from Juniardi. We have the V1 from Mark here, which let me pull up the V2 right there, which V1 and V2 iterations of the same, ideation of the deck, not necessarily V1, V2 decks, but this was the final product of it there. And then back to this, we have the superheroes deck from Marcella. The Irish origin mythology from Andy, which again, this was the V1, the V2, which he showed live, had that beautiful stonework care in there, removed a lot of the color. It had a nice kind of like stone color to it with the tan on the bottom. And then also the spiral pattern, which had a lot of meaning in the Irish origin as well. One of the first designs they saw on some of the stonework, which I thought was really cool. Then we have the duality of superheroes and villains, heroes versus villains from Andre of Plan 52 playing cards. And the Asgard deck design from Max over at Gakando. And the music as a superhero from Luna Charlotte.
Awesome. Let's do the giveaway real quick while Jackson talks, and then we could do the other giveaway.
Well, so let me close. So let me switch and do the giveaway.
I want to go back to the Homestar Runner thing, though.
All right, let's hear it.
Do you remember Strong Bad? Trogdor?
I remember Trogdor.
That's from homestarrunner.com.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to look this up.
Nice conversation. Good talk, Jackson.
Whatever, Jackson. Shut up.
No, I never realized.
Good talk, Jackson. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, homestarrunner.com.
Yeah, Homestar. You guys know about homestarrunner.com.
All right. So we're picking a winner on the Orbit V8, V8P, V8 ASAP, and V7 and 2 Slicer V2 deck right now. So coming up in the chat, that's actually hilarious too. The person who won this may not have the orbits, but probably already has the OPC decks. So congratulations to Lewis, who wins this one. Lewis, make sure to drop us an email, show@deckinaround.com, so we can get your address and send those decks out to you. And I think that's a great way to say thank you to Lewis for all the work he does for the OPC Discord. So congrats on that one, Lewis.
How do you spell his last name? I lost it after the SCH.
There you go. WOLLENSCH. Yeah.
NEID. Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Wallenschneider.
Wallenschneider.
That is like, that's a long name to the point that it might like run off the end of your driver's license one day, but very nicely done.
Your name in Twitter.
We are, so again, congrats to Lewis on that one. If you have not voted in the poll yet, go do so now. I'm going to go take a look and see how many votes we have right now. Everyone better get in on this one, though, because, again, we have some amazing prizes for these designers out here. And let's not forget that these designers are up-and-comers in the amazing community that we have here for playing cards. And honestly, I'm excited for every single minute of it because I can't wait to see what each and every one of them has to come out with, whether they're the winner of today's showcase or not. I think they all have amazing talent, and I can't wait to see what they're coming up with. So let's check out the poll here and how many votes we have on it. We have 83 votes in the chat or in the poll right now. We have 119 viewers on, including one on Twitch. So anyone out there who has not voted yet, please go make sure to vote for these. The bicycle branded one is by Juniardi. I see that question there, Leo. If anyone has any questions,
so much,
Johnny, thank you so much. Jackson's name shall be. Oh, damn.
Oh, God.
That is brutal. That is brutal, but let us do it up. Mr.
Oh, man. I'm thinking Johnny had a little conversation with Kenneth.
Jeez.
You just can't escape him. Johnny, thank you so much. That was a good one.
I actually talked to Kenneth today, and I saw him, okay? And since he obviously infiltrated the stream here with the foot face, I'm gonna put the glasses on that he gave me to wear.
Oh my gosh, here we go. what's happening.
So Andre had a great question too as to whether or not case sensitivity matters in the name. So I will say that if you vote lowercase or uppercase, it counts both ways. So don't worry. All votes are being counted. We still have about 85 votes in, which means we have about 25 people on right now, 35 people on right now. So we got 120 on YouTube. If you have not voted yet, make sure to vote. I'm going to run through these back designs one more time.
Before you do that, you want to start another giveaway? That way we can...
So I don't want to necessarily start another giveaway because it's going to flood the chat, and I want to make sure that everyone is seeing the message on how to vote.
Which is also awesome that there's 100 and something people watching. Let's just be honest.
Absolutely, man. I'm pumped.
Been steady 100 the whole time, which is great.
So let us see. First up, we have the music back design superheroes from Luna Charlotte. Second up, we have the Asgard-inspired deck from Max over at Kakando Cards. Third up, we have the Heroes versus Villains back design from Andre at Plan 52. Next up, we have the original version of Andy's Origin Irish Mythology deck, which now again came with the whole stone cairn on it, but beautifully designed there. We have the superhero deck from Marcella. The V1 of Mark's superhero deck there, which here's the current versioning of it from Mark Fallis over at Broken Crowns Playing Cards, or Fallis Design, I think is the brand name behind it.
Oh my gosh.
Then we have the Everyday Real Life Superheroes from Juniardi. This was the bicycle branded deck. Then we have Pablo's V1 of the generic Gods Playing Cards, which was beautifully illustrated with a lot of the comic book panels across the board there. Then we have the Superhero Sandwich Playing Cards from Alexis Grant, the designer over at OPC.
Nice.
All right. So everyone get those votes in. We are going to kick off the other giveaway right now. Let me get that underway here. We are giving away on this time. Steve's going to have to correct me on this one potentially, but let me see. No, I got it. Your list was a little oh no, this was not the confusing one. All right. So for this giveaway, we are going to be giving away, why don't you tell them, Steve?
So we have 2 opened decks from Patrick Coleman. Some of you may know him on Instagram as Pac M. I think it's Pac M90. Super rad guy, and a half brick of Jet Setters by Paul over at Jet Setters Playing Cards. Huge thank you to those guys. Just so you know, the 2 open decks are going to be super dope decks. They're like new, and they're super dope. But we're going to leave them a mystery just so you can be surprised when you get them. So huge thanks out to Pat and Paul over at Jet Setters Playing Cards. All right. So the
raffle is open. So everyone, exclamation mark raffle. Make sure to get your vote in on that one, as well as making sure to vote for everything going on with the designer showcase. Again, we have 9 amazing designers who showed off some beautiful, beautiful artwork today. Make sure to vote on that. Thank you, Sarah. We appreciate the support. It hasn't popped up here yet, or I would be putting it on the chat screen, but it might get flooded in all of it. But thank you, Sarah. We do appreciate the support. And I'm going to pull up Jackson here as well so that we can see where he's at with this stiff upper lip deck.
Yo.
What's up, buddy? Tell us where you're at here. This thing
I'm
looks
here.
dope.
I'm getting pretty close to just working on some of the typography and colors on the side. Here it is. This is what we got. I'm really liking it. There's old Churchy. I'm calling him Churchy. And you got the stiff upper lip. I was looking at a bunch of Churchill quotes that I might could put on the side. I'm still working on that. Still thinking about what I'm going to do on that. I'm probably going to, just to switch things up for myself, do something different, like maybe start the Ace of Spades. That shouldn't take me very long because I already got a lot of the work done on the dog. Here's the dog. It's the detail of the dog.
So cool.
But yeah, I think I'm just gonna switch it up for right now, and just so I can do something different for a little bit. But I'm feeling really good about everything.
Dude, look at that mug. Those eyes, dude.
Yeah, he's like, "What's up, bro? What's up?"
Bulldogging.
So literally bulldogging. So yeah, that's where we're good. I'm feeling good about it.
Hell yeah, you should. So
Dude, it's looking
good.
impressive. I'm really impressed by how far you've gotten just the past couple hours here. This looks awesome.
So crazy.
And for anyone who hasn't checked it out yet and wants to get in on the pre-order for the Stiff Upper Lip deck, head over to kingswildproject.com. And I think the link is pinned to the top of the chat there as well, so you should be able to see it. But if you go to just kingswildproject.com, there's a link right on the homepage. There's Stiff Upper Lip 24-hour live deck, as well as the link to the 24-hour live. So if you're already here, you shouldn't need that link. But if you want to go get your pre-order in on that deck, head on over to kingswildproject.com and check it out.
Yeah, shimmer.
Check it out.
There's going to be some beautiful shimmer on this thing. I can tell already.
Shimmer.
I'm excited for it.
Shimma bimma foot face.
Jesus Christ.
Shimmer bimmer.
Shimma bimma foot face.
Shimmer bimmer.
And so everyone out there, the poll is going to be ending at 4 o'clock as well as the giveaway. So make sure to get your votes in. I'm seeing, let's see, 68 tickets in the raffle right now. So make sure to _raffle as well as the poll. We're up to 99 votes. So make sure to get those votes in for your favorite designer. If you have any questions on who, Andrew wants to know how long for the pre-orders, Jackson?
What's going to happen is it's not going to be a thing like we did last year where, when the 24-hour live show is over, that the pre-orders stop. It's just as soon as the pre-orders are over, I would love for us to sell them all during the show, but I doubt that's going to happen because we're going to print 1,000 from United States Playing Card Company. But as soon as the show is over, the price will go up at like what I'll charge for like retail
for $9,000. So
$9,000. So in a what's the word I'm looking for? In a I don't even know what I'm talking about. So buy it before the show's over so you can get the cheaper price.
There you go.
In a form of capitalism, I'm trying to get you to buy it before the show's over.
You're going to not only get it at a cheaper price, but if you buy it during the 24-hour live, you're also going to be getting that hand-signed matchstick card that comes with the deck, similar to what was done with the Tigers.
Correct.
So,
that is correct.
Which is super fun. Can't go wrong with a hand-signed Jackson Robinson's matchstick card.
Yeah, because I don't ever sign anything, and my signature is not out anywhere, so it's very rare.
It's one of the hardest signatures to find. So.
Jackson, you should start just putting a foot on your signature.
Oh my God!
I'm
going to be honest, dude. You have one of the coolest signatures out there for sure.
Thanks, bro. Thanks.
So Dean and Josh Write Fiction want to know: will there be a standard deck too? So there will only be one iteration of this deck, correct?
Yes. Well,
what's the gilded version?
There's going to be one deck and one deck only. There will be the limited edition, which there will be 700 of, which will be sealed and numbered. And then there'll be a gilded version, which will be a limited edition version inside this kind of King's Wild Tigers style matchbox. Because that's what this is supposed to be that inspired, but it so the gilded edition will have its own matchbox, and that'll be numbered. And I'm going to make 300 of those. So, but that's all I'm printing. There's not going to be a autumn leaves edition later. So,
sweet, sounds good.
Nice,
cool.
So everyone out there, if you have not voted yet, get your votes in. We have another probably 4 minutes on the voting there, as well as a few more minutes on the raffle. If you have not got your vote in on the raffle yet, make sure to hit !raffle in the chat, !raffle in the chat to get your chance to win 2 open mystery decks and a half brick of Jet Setters, courtesy of Jet Setter playing cards.
Shimmer.
Johnny, you vote right in the chat. So all you have to do is type !space and the person's name whose deck you want to vote for, and that will cast your vote. What up, Pig Cake in the house on the chat?
Pig Cake.
For anyone who doesn't know, our next guest is going to be Pig Cake starting in about 3 minutes. I don't see him in the backstage yet, but I'm sure he will be there shortly.
Yep. Looks like he was in there, but hopefully he'll be back.
Hopefully. There you go. Richard Burlingham says, last year Jackson was supposed to sign my deck, but that didn't happen. For anyone who got a signed Lord Dundreary deck, you got an extra card with a signature on it that that was given in lieu of due to, you know,
I'm trying to simplify it.
we love it.
Simplifying's good. Let's
all Aaron and
end
Al
the
on
let's
comments
let's end the
board.
raffle, yo.
How long's the raffle been going?
Plenty of time.
It's been going for 8 minutes.
Yeah, that's plenty of time.
All right. So, last call to get your raffle entries in before we close this out.
Clothe it out.
Yep, clothe it out. I'm gonna deck this thing out in some pimpalicious clothing.
I just want to let me take a second here to thank Tyler. You know, let's all thank Tyler. Put thank you, Tyler, in the chat. He's been crushing it. There's so much shit that needs to be done behind the scenes.
We have lots more time. Don't you worry.
Oh,
I
shut
appreciate
it.
all the love, but
Shut
we got
it.
a long way to go. We
It
got
doesn't
14
matter. I'm
hours
saying
left.
Thank you now. It's gonna keep your spirits up. That's
My spirits are good, dude.
Everybody, listen.
I gotta say
take
though,
the
we're a
compliment.
third of
Shut
the way
up.
through. We're a third of the way through. That's
It doesn't
exciting.
matter.
You're doing
I
really
want to
good.
give you a compliment.
Thank
If
you.
I want to give
I
you a
appreciate it.
compliment, 3
Thank
minutes
you.
in, you're gonna listen to it. All right.
All right.
So thank you for all that you do. You're crushing it. There's a lot of work you're doing over there, and thanks, you, man.
Steve.
I appreciate it. Yes.
With that being said, congratulations to everyone who's stuck it out this far. Also, by the way, that was not a voice changer. Steve just knows how really well to make a chicken nugget voice. But that being said, thank you for everyone who's been sticking it out so far with us for the first 7 hours of this 24-hour live, which means that we are just about a third of the way through. We still have a little bit more to go. We got another hour before that third of the way mark, but we're getting far. We're getting far,
Easy.
man.
Easy.
So we are closing out this
Dreamy.
raffle, closing the entries now, and picking a winner on the half brick of Jet Setter and the 2 mystery decks. What do we got here? We got, all right, damn. I gotta say, man, we haven't had any duplicates, which I'm excited about. Phil and Johnny, welcome. We're doing well, thank you. But congratulations to Johnny Valerio, who won a half brick of Jet Setter playing cards and the 2 open mystery decks. Johnny, make sure to send a message to show@deckinaround.com with your address. We will get those decks out to you as soon as possible there. I see Pig Cake still in the chat. Pig Cake, jump into the back area of the thing, and we will
Come on
kick
in,
this
Pig
off.
Cake. Come
Where are
on
you at,
in.
buddy? We miss you. We can't wait to chat with you. This has been a long time coming to have you on, and we cannot fucking wait. So,
Dude, whoa, crazy.
I'm starting it off, yeah.
you getting everybody ready for the pig cake?
Yes, yes. I feel like that's going to be maybe the least abrasive. He's going to come on here and be a saint. I know it.
No, he's not. Come on.
I'm excited either way. I'm excited to have him on for sure. Let me
Pig Cake, get in
close
here.
out of all the stuff here.